Scholar. I'm Myra G., a student at the University of Missouri Columbia, aka Mizzou.
Mizzou. And I am Dre Moore. And this is Educated Scholars, everybody.
So we're really sorry about the hiatus that we've taken, but we had finals week and they were just really time consuming. But we're back and
back in
we're
action.
gonna shoot. This is our last show before we go on break because we live in different
Christmas
cities.
break.
So Dre, how do you think you're doing in finals?
Well, I did pretty well. I studied a lot. Studied actually 2 weeks in advance, which was very challenging. It was responsible. It was mind challenging because I had to set aside a few other things I could have been doing that would have been more fun. But, you got to set your priorities straight. So, what about you? How's your finals? How do you prepare and the outcomes?
I mean, they were really challenging. Just being a transfer student, it took some getting used to the school and stuff like that. But overall, what's done is done. I studied hard. I studied as soon as we actually got back from Thanksgiving break. And so I feel pretty good about it. But like I said, you don't know until you get the test scores. So we'll see.
How did your preparation for finals or anything change at all between?
I mean, honestly, this last week, I literally locked myself in my apartment, didn't see daylight and just stared at books. So
gotta do what you gotta do.
I definitely it definitely feels good to finally see the daylight. But so that's how I prepared, and then the other weeks I wasn't as, I guess, torn down. I definitely was studying, but I wasn't as focused. So I was kind of studying with friends, but this past week I really buckled down and cranked it out. So what about you?
Like I said, I studied 2 weeks in advance. I try to stay away from study groups because, I don't know, maybe not your case, but in my case, every study group I've been in has just been a complete failure.
Yeah.
So
I actually really like it because the ADHD in me kind of kicks in sometimes. So when I study alone, if I get off track, then no one else is there to be like, hey, we're here to study. But in any case,
speaking of studying and everything, do you think there was a significant change in the way you study or prepare yourself for any educational whatever between
endeavor,
high school and college? Yes, endeavor between high school and college.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely start studying earlier. I take my exams a lot more seriously. And, college finals are just a lot more challenging. And a lot of times now, it's not even just know the information. It's know the information, apply the information, and then add critical thinking to it, which is something that we didn't really do in high school. You just knew the information and you regurgitated it out on the test.
So is it safe to say high school didn't prepare you for what you would be doing in college?
I definitely think that they've advanced it, which that's what they're supposed to do in college. But, the academics to me weren't so much of the stretch for college. It was more so the time management that was what really conflicted. Which was a really hard transition for me when I got to college. Just thinking I have all the free time in the world and that not being the case. What about you?
Definitely a big factor in the whole transition from high school to college. By the way, that transition was very hard. High school, I would say high school does not prepare their students for college, or more than if you're just going to go from high school to the Army, from high school to a job, anything. High school doesn't prepare you for the real world. You're going to be out there viewing it on your own. I think the school system should implement some type of class, or not even a class, but a organization in each school that just focuses on real life matters, getting out into the world. And if it is college, please increase the amount of homework and tests and quizzes that you give to your students. I can't talk for everyone, but for a Northwest suburban public school student, I didn't have anything to do at all. Tests were easy. I did not study. I probably studied for one test out of all the tests. The Constitution test, probably. The ACT, it was easy. I mean, I did do the little pre-planning tests and everything, but it was too easy. I mean, I don't know if I'm just smart. I don't think I'm like the smartest person in the world or nothing, but
Well, my suggestion for high schools was, for one thing, I just think it would really be helpful for time management. Is once they get to junior and senior year, when those kids are really getting close to it, um, to change their schedule where they're just there for their classes specifically. Like, because at that point, you don't have that many classes that you should be taking. You really don't have to have a full schedule. And so maybe that would make the transition easier if they're used to being able to, okay, I have my 9 a.m. class, I have my 12 p.m. class, and then I'll have another class at
I
2
agree.
to 3 and be done for the day. Because I think that would just help, and it would kind of give them the realistic view of what college is like. Because I think that's what really trips people up in college. I mean, the academics definitely do, but the academics are going to be a challenge no matter how long you've been there. That's what they're meant to do. Um, Something that you said, that college doesn't, that high school doesn't prepare you for the real world. But at the same time, I feel like even though this is like a taste of being out on our own for the first time, I don't think college prepares us for the real world. I mean, we are falling back on our parents. Most of us are, at least. I can't speak for everyone because some people are out here on their own. But if there's some kind of issue, most of us are falling back on our parents. Um, you know, if you're living on campus, it's a controlled environment. You're not cooking for yourself. You're not cleaning up. I mean, you're cleaning for yourself, but like, just balancing all that. I know that it's definitely been a transition for me since living in an apartment. I mean, I knew how to do all this stuff beforehand, but just balancing it with, in addition to my own books, was just like cooking and cleaning and laundry and, paying bills and budgeting and all that kind of stuff. And that definitely is something that college kids may or may not experiencing depending on how their parents are doing things.
Definitely.
So,
So to go off of that, college not preparing us for the real world, I would have to disagree because I think of it as I mean, yeah, you're in a controlled environment. If you're in a dorm, if you're on campus, you can't really do things that you would be able to do if you were at home. But there's opportunities that you find going through a college system at at different universities that you won't find at home. Getting internships is easier during college. Getting a job is easier if you're in college. Really, that's really my main focus is work, career,
and
life after.
I totally agree with that. I mean, I definitely think that if you really go to school and you get yourself educated and you get good grades, then college is preparing you for the real world, because you're going to go out into your field, and the internships that you had are going to have you prepared and have you a little bit of experience in that field, and then you'll be able to really say, I have the knowledge to do this job and do it well. Which I guess in a sense that is the goal of college, but I guess I was just thinking more towards the actual adult part, because anyone can hold a job. A 16-year-old can hold a job, but I mean, there's a big difference between holding a job at Delia's and having an internship with a professional company. So, I mean, that's just from my perspective. But so, do you think that it's a possibility that in some way, shape, or form, both high school and college don't completely prepare you for what you're about to embark on in your adulthood?
Yes. Yes, hearing from college, your side college thought on college and preparedness. Yes, I could say both of them don't prepare you for the real world fully. Um, I would say college. Well, you would say it too, so you would agree. College prepares you for more of a real life experience than high school, than life. So I guess everyone should go to college. Is the end note.
Mm-hmm. How do you think that we can make it better, though? I mean, what's your suggestion?
Are you trying to say, how do you think?
How can we better prepare? Like, if you could go back to your school and just
Mhm.
give advice to any of
Mhm.
the kids there, what would you say?
Starts at the curriculum.
Yeah.
The work that you give your students.
The work that you do yourself. Because I
Yes.
feel like high school students are pretty lazy and they just do the work assigned, but they don't actually study. That was like one thing that I didn't do until I came to college is
Yeah.
actually study. Like, I would do my homework
I
and
agree.
just
Yeah.
be like, okay, cool. So. Well, thank you for joining us. If you'd like, you're welcome to follow us at on Twitter. I'm RiddleMeThat73. This is Dre
Incorporated.
We hope to see you soon, and it'll probably be a month or so, unless we might post individual shows. Not really
Christmas
sure yet.
break.
But it's Christmas break, so have a happy
NBA back.
holidays.
We'll
for
see
those of
y'all.
you who celebrate
Lakers,
everything.
Chicago Bulls.
Yeah, I definitely will be
Christmas
catching up
Day.
on basketball, and
Me and my friends will be there at the game. Yes, I know y'all are jealous.
okay, Dre, and
Sorry.
have a good day. Bye.